Hello everyone, in today's meeting we're going to see about Scrum. It's one popularly used agile methodology. So the topic of discussion will be on Scrum. Scrum, what are the basic guidelines on Scrum? Scrum is being set up, Scrum roles, Scrum activities, and the Scrum artifacts. Okay, so in this video we'll be covering almost all the topics associated and which is required for us to know from the uh, Scrum point of view or the famous agile methodology. So, just to reiterate on the part, so Scrum is basically an agile framework. So most people will be getting confused between Scrum and agile. So agile, let's take agile is a bigger tree, where Scrum is a branch of the agile. So it is basically to manage and developing products. So mostly it is used with respect to software development, but Scrum is actually can be used for even manufacturing sectors or industrial based or product based companies as well. So in Scrum, the team works for a very shorter period of time for to achieve some common goal. So which we call it as sprint or short iteration. And end of that particular sprint, team will be in a position to deliver some valuable outcome to the customer, which the customer will be utilizing it or getting benefit out from the investment they made. So the what are the Scrum pillars and foundation? So there are three important guiding principles when it comes to Scrum. One is transparency, second is inspection, and the third is adaptation. So coming to transparency, Scrum encourage people to have a clear visibility from the end to end. So more customer collaboration. So this, all stakeholders are kept informed on where are we with respect to the product, where is what challenge we are facing, what hurdle we are facing, so that everybody get confident and almost everybody is in the same phase, not getting surprises at the end regarding the product deliverables. So it increases frequent communication among stakeholders, among the development team, end-to-end visibility to all the members who is part of that particular product development. Then coming to the inspection point of view, frequently Scrum encourage people to take a step back and see whether we are aligned with the goals which we have taken initially as the part of the product development. So adaptation is basically to define a set of process or to come up with a new process, tools or methodology to define if at all some iterations or if at all some task is actually deviating, just to see what best we can do to put it back on track to meet the goals which is being committed. So just to reiterate on the part, when it comes to the Scrum pillars or foundation, three things you need to keep in mind: transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So, if at all you want to practice Scrum in your workplace, you need to have this kind of mindset when you are planning to build your products based on the Scrum methodology. Okay, now coming to the Scrum roles, there are three important roles which we will be covering up in this presentation. So one is product owner, second is Scrum Master, and the third is development team. So product owner is the one who actually owns the product, which I will be covering up in the next slides. Scrum Master is the one who is facilitating the team or facilitating the team with the Scrum or to manage the task, mostly focusing on the team. Development team is the actual one who is will be working on the task or like doing the actual piece of coding. So let me first quickly explain about the product owner. So these four are the key responsibility of being a product owner. So when it comes to Scrum, these roles are very clearly defined. So the duty which need to be done by product owner need to be done by the product owner, which shouldn't be taken by the other people on different role. So product owner is the one who will be defining the requirement, and he is responsible for prioritizing the requirement. So end of the day, he wants the product. He need to give a justification or he need to give the statement of complete. So product owner is the right person to prioritize what requirement he needs first, what requirement he feels like it's a valuable from his point of view. Product owner is the one who can actually change the requirement and priority every sprint. Basically, people are not allowed to change the items which or the task which is taken for the current sprint, but product owner can change the priority or change even the feature requirement which is in the product backlog. Coming to the Scrum Master, as I initially mentioned, Scrum Master is the one who will be facilitating the team, who will be the one to remove the obstacles so that the team can perform well and do the task on time. So if at all any person is not convenient in taking Scrum, Scrum Master is the one who will be like supporting the team, explaining them how important it is to train people on the Scrum roles. So coming to this Scrum roles, in the development team, as a part of the Scrum role, there is something called development team. So this is a team which will have all the required skill set which is required to give that particular product delivery as committed in the sprint. So just to keep it on a very simple note, this is the one who will be doing the actual work. He like in our normal world we call them as developers or the team members. So when it comes to Scrum, the very catch point is like the team manages the work by itself. So it doesn't depends on program manager or project manager to decide what work that need to be addressed from their end. So this is most familiar diagram which I have already explained in my previous video. I would like to reiterate on the Scrum activities. Since this video is specifically for Scrum, the entire concept, so I thought I will touch upon this part once again. So coming to this part, uh, there were as let's see the roles which we initially see and then proceed accordingly. So this is the product owner and this is the team, which we call it as a development team in the previous slides, and finally Scrum Master. So there were three essential roles which is required to for conducting the Scrum. And when it comes to the meetings, there were like different meetings that need to be occurred. So daily stand-up, which is like need to be taken at every day. Mostly recommend people to take it on the same place and the same time. So like no frequency, like every 24 hours once we need to take this daily stand-up, and max we can go for a time of 15 minutes. So strongly recommendation is not to exceed the 15 minutes when it comes to the daily stand-up meeting. So in the daily stand-up meeting, there is three essential questions which need to be asked the team. One is basically what work they have done yesterday, what work they are planning for today, and is there any concerns or any obstacles they foresee in getting the work done. So it's going to be very simple. Call the team for a quick meeting or stand up, discuss these three questions and close it out. It's not a very detailed project review. Coming to the product backlog, as I initially said, product owner is the one who will be defining the product backlog and defining the priorities as well. Then sprint planning meeting is where the entire team, team, Scrum Master, product owner, everybody comes and sit together, try to evaluate and to get some portion of work from the product catalog to a sprint backlog, and to see what amount of work they will be carrying out in the next 1 to 4 weeks of time. Which is on a base it is good to go for a 2 to 4 weeks of time. Sprint review and sprint review, once a particular sprint is done, in the sprint review meeting, customer comes and then sits with the project manager to review and see how this particular sprint has gone, and those kind of things will be discussed. Since uh, sprint retrospective is a very important meeting, I would say. This is where the core team, Scrum Master and the team sits together and discuss on what went right and what went wrong, and to have some lesson learned, which can be very useful for people to take it up in the upcoming sprint. Finished product or finished work, or we call iterate iterations, which is basically a short or a very small amount of work which can be either give to the release so that people can use it, or accumulation of short amount of work can put together and give it as a release. Um, these are two important zones when it comes to the Scrum activities. Depending on activity which you see in the previous slide. One, never change any task during the sprint. So when the sprint is planned initially during this phase, um, and the second thing is like, no, do not change the development team when you are in the sprint. Coming to the Scrum artifacts. So in the Scrum artifacts, if you see, there are three very crucial documents which is actually there with respect to the Scrum artifacts. I don't want to name it as a document, but it's the three important thing which is very good. One is the product backlog. It is actually defined by the product owner, prioritized by the product owner, product backlog. Um, it will be reviewed at regular period of time so that the product owner is keep engaged and he is very clear with his priorities. Sprint backlog is something where the team, based on the prioritized work on the backlog, the team sit together and come to an agreement what amount of work that they will be taking up in the upcoming sprint, which is generally 2 to 4 weeks of time. So that it has to be purely defined only by the development team, because end of the day the development team is the one who is going to do the actual work, and the sprint backlog can be updated only by the development team. So all the person participating in the Scrum need to have a very clear visibility on the sprint backlog, because this is the current indicator to see like, no, where are we with respect to the product. And finally, the product increment is basically a short shippable items, can be either used by the send it to the product owner, for them to use it, or we can accumulate a few of the product increments and then release it in the release phase. Finally, this is the end of the video. I hope you gained some few insight on the Scrum. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. I'll meet you in the next video with respect to this Agile methodology of framework. Thank you. Thanks for watching.